Here we are, leading into Matchem and Diana Stakes Day, and it's the Schweppes Diana Stakes together with the Settlers Trophy. Alistair Cohen, welcome.
Wonderful. I mean, this is Hollywood Bets Durbanville's marquee race day. A lot going on. Just got the message that tickets are sold out online, but for those that still want to make their way to Hollywood Bets Durbanville on Saturday, you can get tickets at the gate. Look, I think it's a perfect setting for this type of meeting as we prep into the official Cape Summer. As far as a national calendar perspective is concerned, it's the first real treat, the first real bait in the water as far as big names are concerned. Yeah, you probably would like to see some even bigger names, but there's a bigger picture for certain horses. So, yeah, it's just lovely to know that some big horses will be stepping out and with some eyes on tasty races in the coming months.
It's quite a shrewd race meeting from the point of view that some people prep sort of without anyone really knowing that this is the aim or the early aim, because it's a great way, especially for the fillies and mares, to get that black type in the Schweppes Diana Stakes.
Absolutely. The Diana Stakes is... it's got an interesting roll of honour, weirdly, because when I looked at history of the Schweppes Diana Stakes and of the Racecourse Matchem Stakes, the Diana Stakes, there's some winners there where you kind of scratch your heads and think, well, how good were they as racehorses? But never mind that, it can be a bit of a broodmare setting, the Schweppes Diana Stakes, whereas the Matchem Stakes, looking at winners of that race, you've got Captain L, Variety Club, Charles Dickens, One World, Rainbow Bridge, have all won the Matchem Stakes. It's a bit of a tale of two cities that, as you say, the black type and the stakes win for the Schweppes Diana Stakes is worth its weight in gold. And then a bigger picture as far as winning the Matchem Stakes, they can go on to some seriously big things countrywide after this.
Indeed, it's going to be very exciting, and you can get your... Speaking about the tickets, they are free to be claimed, so when you're on course, there's no cost to them. It's just about managing the event for the Craft and Cork Race Day. So there'll be bubbles, there'll be beer, kids entertainment, and entertainment for the adults too. Not and that's aside from the brilliant racing.
And various food trucks. Spur will be here.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I saw the list. Spur, Wing It. Brilliant.
They're good chicken wings, those Wing It.
Absolutely.
So let's lead into race one, Alistair. So race one is the Hollywood Bets Durbanville welcomes you. Maiden plate for fillies and mares over the 1250. We have a situation in the Western Cape at the moment where there's a lot of unraced or lightly raced horses. And you'll see them improving. Justin Snaith keeps saying it. They'll improve with every one of their runs. But Alistair, let's see what the betting says.
Absolutely. So Ibisu, number 4 on the card from Lucinda Woodruff's yard, has been well supported. And we're recording this 48 hours in advance. So the moment betting came out, the vultures swooped into Ibisu. Open up 4-1, trading 28-10 favourite, which surprises me. 5 Lay Delay 7-2. Number 1 Williams Woman 6-1. The first timer, one of the first timers. Number 3 Somebody Somewhere 8-1. Same price. Number 12 Blue Lagoon, and number 10 Kalank also 8-1. 14-1 and upwards the others.
8-1's quite a good price for number 10, Kalank. She'll definitely improve on that run, but she'll have to get the bit of number 5, Lay Delay. Alistair, what is your suggested player? Because you would say Ibisu, number 5, Lay Delay, they generally have the form. Maybe number 1, Women's World, she ran on very well and should improve.
Absolutely. So my read on the race is that Kalank, a very well-bred daughter, will give me the green light related to Calamoreta and Rockapina. From draw 1 on debut at Hollywood Bets Durbanville, she was all at sea. She got popped on the rail and she ended up travelling deep. Not through any fault of Craig Zaki, but she just had a very rough passage through the corner of the track. She would have learnt plenty. She has got, call it a length to turn around with Lay Delay, but I think natural improvement will carry number 10 Kalank past Lay Delay. I remember Justin's comments on Perfectly Placed about Lay Delay when she made her debut, that it was a lot of speed there. She hasn't been cheap speed in her races to date, but I think that she is pretty limited into what type of category she's going to fit into distance-wise. So I think number 10 Kalank will turn that form around just with a little bit more street-wise experience behind her name. Interested to see how the Durban form of number 4 Ibisu is going to work out. She has been punted on 2 occasions. She finished close at her last start behind Fascination with the form line working out well, and she was probably turned over by the fact that Fascination had the 4 kilo claim of Deson low on that occasion. Might have gone the other way without that 4 kilo claim. And then number 1 Williams Woman, her half brother, won very well at Turfentine a week ago, but over an extended distance, so she'll probably come into her own over a little bit further. But I can see her getting into the mix yet again. I like Magical Place as a horse, and I think if you're 6.5 lengths inferior to her on debut, then you can kick on and run a neat race, especially from draw 1 over an extended distance. Well-bred first time, I keep an eye on the market. Number 3 Somebody Somewhere, I expect improvement, to a degree for number 2, Little Nimbus. And with that said, likewise, further down the page for number 12, Blue Lagoon, despite her deep draw, and 14, Surely Not. But all in all, I think the price about number 10, Kalank, is very appealing. I'm going to tip her up as a win suggestion in the opener before the exotics get underway.
Oh yeah, she's a lovely big filly. So good way to start the day, and hopefully that value remains. Race 2. It is Lucky Fish Sahara Riches Cash Collect Maiden Plate for the fillies and mares over the 1250. Similar sort of discussion about this race in that we've got some really good improving youngsters. We've got number 2 Our Steadford and number 13 One Dance, who look to have the form and be the standouts, but it doesn't quite stop there, because as Alistair mentioned in race 1, we've got a whole bunch of horses that will be improving, like number 8 Panjandram, the James Crawford Rafif, or daughter of Rafif, who doesn't have all that much early pace, but will be running on and improving. And horses can run on. They have been at the country course. That doesn't quite stop there. You've also got Pacific Waters, Alistair. So it's a great mixture of horses that will be improving.
I think that this is a little more shallow than the first, if I'm honest. I think there's a more even spread of chances, and we've got a couple of exposed maidens who look ready to win, who might be vulnerable. Our Steadford number 2 is at the top of the boards. There's no real movement in the market. 5-2 the price. 8 Panjandram 4-1. Number 13 One Dance 11-2. Number 1 Swift Serenity on offer at 6-1. 7-1 number 10 Plumbago Park, who makes appeal to me, and number 3 Pacific Waters is at 8-1. All these horses and more, I think, are in with a winning chance, unfortunately, Vicky. What I am looking forward to as far as an exotic perspective is concerned, it's a standalone Saturday, it's month end, it's a marquee race meeting here, and they're big names, so I'm expecting the pools to be well above average as far as a Hollywood Bets Durbanville perspective is concerned. So I'd encourage all race goers in well-positioned race times just before the rugby gets underway to get involved. I've tipped a bar pot here, and I've gone with 5 horses, 1, 2, 3, 8 and 10. They're going to be the main protagonists for me. I'm going to go with number 2, Our Steadford, as my top choice, simply because she's finishing closer. I think the speed that she showed last time coming back from a break, signs of freshness, likely to carry her positively. Craig Zaki takes her out for Greg Enion. Greg's in sparkling form at the moment. Barely a meeting goes by without him having a winner.
And the draw will help quite a bit, because if you look at One Dance drawn a little bit wide, needs a little bit of luck.
Absolutely. Swift Serenity, can't knock her. She's also getting closer. Stormwatch, a horse who beat her at her penultimate starts, a very interesting runner in the Shreps, Diana. Made mention number 3 Pacific Waters. I think she's worth another go. Daughter of One World, JP van der Merwe's on board. Her form lines are very questionable. Between the Lines has done sweet little since getting out the maidens, and Apricity, one with her head in her chest and everything in behind, hasn't done too much. So worried from that perspective. 8 Panjandram probably would have needed her last run. Was a good effort behind Marquetta. She'll be better off for the run. And further down the page, I also had number 10 on the card, Plumbago Park. Like I said, she makes appeal. The fact that Justin took her to Durban as a youngster, he must have seen something. And I think her last run behind Educator at Hollywood Bet Scottsville, albeit 150 days ago, was a good enough effort, with horses that finished just in front of her having won, an Educator being an above average filly, to give her a vote of confidence under Andrew Fortune. I make it a very, very complex opening leg of the bar, but I think we'll drop tickets straight away.
Moving on to race 3, which is the Join the Race Coast Turf Club Open Maiden over the 1400 meters. We see horses now that have been looking for a little bit of a trip, or horses that will even be going further. So nice start to the place accumulator. And we've got number 2, Primal Instinct. Interesting. Justin said there's a very strong hand at the start of the day, and it sort of carries through. He does live for the big days. But with that, also number 9, Greek Heiress, who's the daughter of Fire from the Glen Cotson yard. She's done or shown great improvement, but it doesn't quite stop there, Alistair. Once again, you've got a whole bunch of horses that will be improving. And one of them that caught my eye, I know beaten quite a distance, was number 5, Super Viking. On debut, finished 4th behind Pump It Up, quite a way back, but there were excuses on that occasion. I just think a nice type of horse will definitely improve over the trip.
And I see there were valid excuses. Reared in the stall, saddle slipped. Got to be a better value than 8.5 lengths behind a nice horse in the form of Pump It Up. So that could be an interesting observation.
The other thing that I keep on saying is that we have horses who've been running on soft or heavy tracks and now on a good track. So you'll see that natural improvement just being on a firmer surface and time.
Absolutely. And yeah, there could be a lot to come from number 5, Super Viking. The market shows number 2, Primal Instinct, 14-10. Number 9, Greek Heiress, 33-10. 6, That'll Be the Day, the Stable Companion, 9-2. And number 8, What Will Be, is 7-1. Big prices about the others. I don't think Justin could have found an easier opening for number 2, Primal Instinct. Look, it's a worry that you got beaten by a 20-start maiden. but the 20-start maiden had no weight on its back in the form of typically French last time. Was all over a winner, was Primal Instinct, did everything right, lowered at the right time, just got beaten by a horse who had less weight on his back. I think Justin opens up the Place Accumulator. In fact, I think the Place Accumulator kicks off with 2 potential bankers, both from Justin's yard. And I think Primal Instinct, just with that natural come-on look about him, stands a very, very good chance of winning. I don't think it's a totally dead field, to be honest. And what's nice about travelling around and getting the ear of certain jockeys, funny enough, Greek Airways, and I think you set the scene here, Vicky, on debut ran on a bottomless track at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth, and it looked like a fairly moderate run behind on Sidium, but the form line has worked out pretty well. And Craig whispered, saying this filly will be all right, especially when she goes over further. And she stepped up from her first to her second start, and now that she's on a drier track and a lot more wise about what's going on, there could be a few that'll be including number 9 Greek Air Race. But all in all, as far as this race is concerned, I've started up with a tote double, 2x1, Primal Instinct onto the favourites in race number 4. I do think Primal Instinct will step forward and win the third.
And the other thing about Greek Air Race, she also carries the 55 kilos, but that's race 3. Moving on to race 4, is the www.racecoast.co.za open maiden over 1400 meters, and the horse drawn 1 really is a standout in Delta Pride. I think Alistair alluded to that. The Son of a Wam has done little wrong and also competed in really strong races, second behind Sardinia Bay and also then Night Rain. So looking forward to that step up, will definitely suit. And there are some other horses with form, possibly number 10, Gale Warning, who benefited from gelding and improved at gelding. But Alistair, it's, I'm a little bit nervous to say, does it look quite straightforward?
7-20 in the market is Delta Pride, and they're betting him to the exclusion of the rest of the field. Vicky, I'll be devastated if he doesn't arrive in race number 4, the first leg of the pick 6. We want punters winning. We want people to come to Hollywood Bets Dermanville and to be part of the action, to get if they are taking Place Accumulators, pick 6s, or all to comes on Hollywood Bets, or whatever the case may be. We want them to be winning. We want them to be enjoying themselves. And Delta Pride set such a high standard in this race. Sadly, it doesn't. I mean, when Elysia Ashevil's betting second favourite, and I do honestly believe Elysia Ashevil's going to win a race.
Yeah.
But a 12-start maiden who has run some pretty moderate races along the way. I know she's got 50 kilos on her back, but when she's the second favourite, I think you know that anything with an iota of ability will probably have her number. I think things, and from draw 1, how complicated are things going to be for Richard Furry? He rides this track, he rides every track in the country extremely well, but he rides, I mean, he lives 200 metres up the road. He rides this track exceptionally well. I don't see any problems with number 1 Delta Pride. I know there have been a few very short price favourites that have been beaten of late around the country. But as far as the first leg of the pick 6 is concerned, I mean, I'd love to tell you there's value to be had elsewhere. There's probably various other bets that you'd find a bit of a shrewdy to make various bets pay, but I can't see Delta Pride getting beaten. I think he's a banker in all bets, and I think we kick off the pick 6 with a banker. I have structured a pick 6, and the bread on the sandwich, first leg and last leg, are bankers.
There you go. It's always a nice way to go about it, because then you can load up in the middle where it can be a little bit more challenging. Race 5 is a perfectly placed maiden plate over the 1800 meters, and this type of race, a lot of horses have been waiting for, or trainers have been waiting to place horses in these races that do enjoy a little bit further. So it's a lovely and competitive type of field from the point of view that you don't really know how much improvement horses could show going a trip that they really enjoy. And Alistair, it seems that the Son of Wooten Bassett, who obviously quite sad to hear of the news of the loss of Wooten Bassett this week, but Rockin' and Rolling, I think, has shown enough progress to be the focus of this race.
Absolutely right. Let's start with Wooten Bassett. As far as his international exploits were concerned, he literally shot lights out as a stallion. Set a lot of new records, barriers, as far as stud fee is concerned, and the stats overall. I mean, it's little wonder that we've got a Wooten Bassett, or a couple of Wooten Bassets in this country. As far as I know, there are 2 with Andre Nell, a filly called Rose Root as well. There might be a couple of others that have since been imported, but just wonderful to have this type of blood in the country. Just a quick market check. Number 9 Rock and Rollin 18-10, 4 Lomu 9-2, 5 Coco's Hero 11-2, and then 3 horses at 8-1, 7 Wonderful Tonight, 8 Senor Dante, and 6 Get Up and Go, 10-1 about the others. I think your scene set to this race is spot on, Vicky, in that there's a paucity of long-distance maiden races all over the country. I think because there's just such a small cross-section of horses that are looking for the trip. But I think if you sort of give it 4 weeks for the dust to settle, then all of a sudden all the horses in that community are all ready to go. So here we are with a nice sort of size field of 12 horses that go to post, and all of which have been craving this type of trip. Number 9, Rock and Roll, an easy place to start, done little wrong, likely to relish the step up in distance. Corne Orfa takes her out for Andre Nel. I thought his last run behind Gallic Forge was full of merit. When a beaten favourite, but still, he's done, bar winning, he's done little wrong. Looks like he's getting to grips with racing, strengthening all the while, and just running better races as he goes along. So he is my idea of the winner. But number 4, Lomu, very interesting runner. He's got an action to die for. He's got a lovely stride about him. Just watch him go down to the start. He really uses himself nicely. And the fact that he's going 1,800 metres for the first time in his career is no surprise, and the way that he runs probably tells you that he really puts it all together over the closing stages and just runs out of track to get the job done. Only one, real bad run to his name. That was behind Star Major, but that was in bottomless going and against a very good form line. With the winners run 4th here during the week. Second horse, United Front, came out and won. There were nice horses in and around Lomu. So probably ultimately disappointed with the run, but I suppose no disgrace when you consider the horses that were around him on the soft track. So I'm going to make him the main danger. But as far as my pick 6 was concerned, I had 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So those are all the winning chances. But as far as having a winning bet in the race is concerned, I'm going to go swingers 4 and 9.
I quite like number 12, Fortin Preza. What price is he?
He's a 12 to 1 shot, Vicky.
I thought that he'd be a good one for swingers with Rockin' and Rolling, just because he's proven over the trip. I know a little bit of a draw to overcome, but it's such a difficult race, the 1,800 metres at Hollywood Bets Durbanville, because you almost jump on the turn. So it's a little bit messy in the first bit, but thankfully Chad will probably commit and try overcome that.
And he's obviously got better with each and every start as the son of Elusive. Looked decidedly moderate at the start of his career, but stuck at it and getting better.
Indeed. Race 6, it is Settlers Trophy, the listed event over the 2,000 metres. And the Settlers Trophy is a wonderful event. We've got last year's winner in Call to Unite, who's number 8, taking part. And just a real nice group of them. They are not much between drawn wide, but I think formed throughout the 8 runners, Alistair.
Yeah, it's a very, very tricky race, as Vicky. The market shows 7 to 2 at the top of the board's 2 runners, 6 Congressman and 7 Land of the Rising Sun, both lightweights. Number 8 Call to Unite, as you mentioned, last year's winner, 4 to 1 quoted on Hollywood Bets. Number 3 Time for Love, 5 to 1. The Futurist, who can do absolutely anything, is 6 to 1. Same price, number 1 for Luapiki, and number 4 Audible, 7 to 1. Number 2 Green Lights All the Way, who doesn't have her legs tied up either, is a 14 to 1 shot. So a wide spectrum of chances here.
Interesting. Audible for me is a fascinating runner here, Alistair. I know that his last a few runs have been in Port Elizabeth, but that staying form from Port Elizabeth, especially behind My Best Shot's very good.
Well, My Best Shot is the Aberge horse of the year, and he had to be, considering, in fact, he was the first horse in over 20 years from the region to run in the Hollywood Bets Durban July. He'd done absolutely nothing wrong, and he bounced back on the back of, the July is not an easy race, it's a tough race. Ran flat back home at his first run back, and then bounced back a week ago with a commanding win, showing that he is the best older horse in Aberge without any shadow of doubt. And I suppose in the Eastern Cape Derby, the World Sports Betting East Cape Derby, if you get to within 5 1/4 lengths, it's no disgrace. How is he going to go, though, coming back from a long break over 2,000 metres in his first run back? It feels like Justin would probably have wanted an extra run under the belt to get Audible up to grips, but I also think that you're going to see the best of him this season. Although a lot of his recent form is from Aberge, he did very little wrong in that part of the world, and just that time to strengthen up probably do him a world of good. He's not out of the hunt, even though I haven't made him my top selection. He's a horse that I wouldn't totally discount. The way that I've read this race, Vicky, I'm being a bit greedy here. I've taken box swingers among 3 horses, so if they do somehow manage to run first, second and third, then it's going to be a bit of a full house. Number 3 Time for Love, the level to which she achieved last season is applaudable from Michelle Ricks and Harold Crawford. She turned up on Met Day, on World Sports Betting Cape Town Met Day, and to run the race that she did and not throw in the towel and only get collared late by Rainbow Lorikeet, who was undoubtedly the best and right horse in the race, and with a few nice horses in behind her, the likes of Sarki, shows the mettle that Time for Love has got. Also reading between the lines, it sounds like a run under the belt and between the trip to PE last time would have been ideal, but you got to get them started somewhere. There's a bigger picture with all these horses, so I think everyone's pretty much in the same boat is what I'm getting at. Craig Zaki takes a ride. Congressman, He's at the top of the boards, which kind of surprises me because I think he's got a little bit more to prove than some of these other horses who have been around the block and won or at least competed with the Plummet feature race level. But I like the way he's going about his business. I like the engagement of Sereno Mudley. The lightweight's going to help him out. And then number 7, Land of the Rising Sun. If you ask Justin Snaith, a horse to watch this season, I reckon that he'd pin up Land of the Rising Sun as one of his horses who's going to win a few races. He's going to be really dangerous as well. The question mark I have against him is the trip, though. 2,000 meters, don't know. But if he does get the trip, he'll be very interesting to work with for the next 12 months.
Race 7, the Schweppes Diana Stakes, the grade 3 over the 1,400 meters. This is a great race. Alistair, I can't tell you how excited I am for this race, just because it is a mixture of such competitive horses. And you've got number 11, Kind of Wonderful, who had a great, I don't know if it's so much of a sneaky prep, but an unbelievable prep into this race. And then you've got number 7, Stormwatch, who was also impressive last time. Swiatek, number 4, who she won last time, and everyone was like, oh, look at, that's good. And it doesn't quite stop there. You've also got So Hot, So What. You've got number 9, Be Merry. And I mean, I can just start listing the whole field, but it really is an incredible race this year.
Did you win this race on Diana's Choice?
No, I didn't win this race. I won the juvenile feature on Met Day on Diana's Choice.
Okay, all right. Anyway.
Claiming 4.
Doesn't matter. The trophies on the...
No, it was great because remember, you're not supposed to. Rian van Rienen found a loophole that year.
Shrewd man.
It was an interesting one.
All right, well, the market for the Schweppes Diana Stakes shows the Canamea horses at the top of the boards. 1 Princess of Gaul, 18-10. Kirkenhoff, number 3 on the card, 4-1. 4 Schweontek is at 9-2. And then double figures about the others, but I'm going to stop there. Be Merry, number 9, 10-1. 7 Stormwatch, 10-1. And Cape Town's buzzing about the chances of Kind of Wonderful, number 11 on the card, at 12.5-1, 25-2. So a very interesting race. Bit of depth to it.
It is interesting. I think the fascinating part is that the Dean Canamea 3-year-olds are topping the boards, coming off, the KZN form.
You sound like Dean this morning on Perfectly Placed. You basically quoted him without knowing what he said. So this is pretty much what he said. Princess of Gaul won last time on Gold Cup Day. Is the handicapper right? Is the handicapper wrong? 107, don't know. The typical questions that you got to ask about the 2-year-olds that performed at a high level and now going into big school, really, and whether they're ready for it. There's still good vibes coming out of the camp about both these horses, number 1, Princess of Gaul, and 3, Kirkenhoff. Princess of Gaul from draw 1, going to have it all her own way. I think that there are some exciting plans for this daughter of Vercingetorix as well. So let's see how she goes. She is the horse that I'm leaning towards as my top choice, but there's very little conviction because I don't think you can be too bullish about anything. Now, interesting about Kirkenhoff, number 3 on the card. Dean Canamea trained the winner of this race last year, Gimmy's Countess, who was ridden by Sereno Mudley, who rides Kirkenhoff, who carried 51.5, same weight that Kirkenhoff has got, who went down to Durban for champion season as a 2-year-old, had absolutely no luck. Kirkenhoff had absolutely no luck in Durban. The similarities are endless with last year's winner, Gimmy's Countess, and number 3, Kirkenhoff. So from that point of view, and she's only got a length to turn around with Princess of Gaul, and she'll probably be more effective over slightly further now, anyway, being by the United States. So very interesting dynamics. Dean was pretty, he made sure, don't forget about Kirkenhoff. You're all talking about the unbeaten filly, but don't forget about her as far as the chance is concerned. Jackpot 2 is my suggested bet in this race. There's no way that I'm stopping at just the Canamea horses. 7 Stormwatch, Eric Sands, very positive about her overall outlook as far as her career is concerned. Under no illusions that he might have got away with one last time when beating Wishlist, but there is a long-term plan in motion with number 7 Stormwatch. So she's got to be watched with a very light weight, and this race does go well for 3-year-old fillies, by the way. Number 9 Be Merry, her performance in the World Sports Spinning KZN filly sprint when running third to Montpetit was full of merit, went to the front, just got collared late. She's got the right profile to be dangerous here. And then 10 So Hot So What, real overachiever, Kind of Wonderful. Eric bemoaned what happened last time, thought she was desperately unlucky, and she was. She's a classy filly. And 12 She's My World, don't know about her over 1,400 meters, but there's a lot of ability there. And I suppose she's the one filly here that if she didn't win, you can make good excuses for, just take her back to the sprints and let her win her races there. But it's worth the experiment on a fast-running 1,400 Hollywood Bets D'Urberville to consider her at least.
Race 8, Race Coast Matchem Stakes, the Grade 3 over 1,400 meters. And this is, Alistair rattled off the Roll of Honour as we started, and it really is an unbelievable race. 1,400 meters, and we have two horses here that are, you could almost rule into being 1,400 meter specialists in number 1, Cafe Culture, and number 3, Sugar Mountain. But the race doesn't really stop there again. You've got last year's winner, number 7, Questioning, who's coming off his KZN campaign. So, and let it be said again, I'm going to start rattling names off to you. But I think the most important part, Alistair, is what is the betting, and will that be the guide?
I don't know if it is much of a guide here, Vicky, but as far as the Race Coast Matchem Stakes is concerned on Hollywood Bets, number 3, Sugar Mountain, 5-2 favourite, and Nibble from 3-1. 9, Absolutely Yes, the 3-year-old, 33-10. Number 5, Aristocratic, 5-1. 1, Cafe Culture, and 7, Questioning are both 6-1, and then 10-1, and upwards the others. You're right in that we got last year's winner Questioning in the race, but when winning the race last year, he didn't have a campaign in Durban. He came into it sort of ripe and ready to go. Whereas Sugar Mountain comes in fresh off probably the form of his life during the Cape Winter. So very interesting dynamics. And then you mentioned if there's one horse that you just, when you imagine Matchem Stakes winners, but for like the real superstars that have won this race, and we know that this year there's no Rainbow Bridge, there's no One World, there's no Captain L, etc. But when you think of the other winners of this race, Charles Dickens also fits into that category in Variety Club. Cafe Culture absolutely fits the bill as a horse who's got the game to win the Race Coast Matchem Stakes, and he's got draw 1. He is a Merchants winner at Hollywood Bets Gravel just over a year ago on July Day. So, and talking to Lucinda on Perfectly Placed and then off air, she said this horse had no luck in Durban during champion season whatsoever. Races weren't run to suit, bad draws, bit of interference, interrupted prep getting into KZN, and going through it. 2 1/4 lengths behind Gladiatorial. That's a mighty good run. 5 lengths behind Dave the King over a trip that stretches him, let's be fair, wait for age level. Mighty good run. And the Mercury Sprint, 2 lengths behind Buffalo Storm Cody from that draw when things went wrong prior to the race and in the race. Lucinda kind of cracked a smile and said, I guess I can't be too upset with his runs in Durban. So he becomes a lively chance, does number 1, Cafe Culture. And then we've also got the 3-year-old Aristocratic, where again Dean was saying, well, is he a 108? How's the form all worked out? Came from too far back at Hollywood Bets Gravel. What's his best trip? I mean, Dean was kind of asking himself the questions while we were talking
Having
to him.
a debate with himself.
Absolutely. So he reckons that this is a good place to kick him off and kind of see where he fits in at the older level. But Vicky, the more I looked, and for what it's worth, Justin Snaith has been telling us for a couple of weeks that absolutely yes, is coming into this race as well as can be, and he's a fit horse as well, whereas a lot of the other horses are setting the table for their season ahead. But the way that I've read it, Vicky, even though Candice Bass on Perfectly Placed didn't quite sing from the rooftops about number 3 Sugar Mountain coming back from a layoff and coming to Hollywood Bets Durbanville and being the form that he's been in at HQ at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth, this horse just in the form of his life.
He's an 11-time winner, Alistair.
Crazy.
And this trip is, he thrives over it. And the nice thing is he gets a little bit further. So if it is a challenge, if they go too fast, it won't be an issue for. He's straightforward.
Absolutely. Aldo takes the ride. Just to the eye on what he's done in his last 3 starts, I can't not be on him. So I'm going to motivate number 3 Sugar Mountain. I'm being a bit of a wimp by saying that he's an each-way player, because I'd hesitate to write anyone else off and say that he's nailed on winner, but I'm going to put him up as an each-way suggestion in a very, very intriguing Race Coast Matchem Stakes.
Yeah, I can't wait to see number 9, Absolutely Yes. They always describe him as cruising. I remember when I spoke to JP and he said they just cruise, these horses.
And don't read anything into jockey range. With JP van der Merwe at 51, that's a bit of a stretch, so hence he's not riding in the Aquamarine here.
Race 9, Lucky Fish Fire Strike, Class 4 for the fillies and mares over the 1800 metres. And a horse with a good draw has a good chance here, number 1, Beneath the Clouds. But again, as the day lends itself, there are a few horses that you could have a conversation about. Number 11, To a Penny. Last time Adam Marcus said she's been dying for this trip. I've been waiting to put her over a bit of a trip, and she'll thoroughly enjoy it. So that is promising. And also you've got the Eric Sands, number 7, Beautiful Side. So horses in good form here. The other one is number 5, We Have a Situation, who benefits from the 3 kilo, not the full 4 kilo claim of Sviso Bangani. So Alistair, what is the betting suggest?
Shows number 1 Beneath the Clouds, a 28-10 favourite. It's been quite an active market, funny enough, but that's through the scratching of number 6 Double Dash, so there have been a few adjustments. 1 Beneath the Clouds 3-1 into 28-10. Number 5 We Have a Situation 5-1 down 9-2. Same moves about 11-2 a penny and 8 Strawberry Thief, and also number 4 Clainsy, and then 10-1 number 7 Beautiful Side, who are not going to motivate as my winning choice in this race because I've banked at number 1 Beneath the Clouds, but Eric did say she is almost exactly what her mare was, bits on the side. She was weak at the start of her career, took her a while, but always saw a little bit of spark, and then came into her own as a bit of an older horse. And Beautiful Side seems to be going in exactly the same track as her mare Bits on the Side. So just an interesting horse to keep an eye on in the future. But Vicky, interesting. The algorithm is draws with number 1 Beneath the Clouds is interesting. 11, 11, 11, now 1. So it's just been all the ones with number 1 Beneath the Clouds, but now she's got the right one rather than the double one. She's got to be a tough filly to beat, I think, Vicky. Just the fact that she comes into a reasonable draw. Her running style here at Hollywood Bets Dermov, although she's been here twice before, she was just a weaker and inferior horse at the time. Now that she's blossomed and come into her own, I think her front running style under a jockey who loves to get forward, and Callum Murray, I think it all just clicks here for number 1 Beneath the Clouds, and I personally will be surprised if she got turned over. The horse that I'm going to put in as potentially her biggest danger would be number 8 Strawberry Thief, coming back from a layoff. Impeccably bred daughter of Canford Cliffs. Richard Faree takes her right. She's got a lot of weight to shoulder, but I think that her turn of foot serves her well, and she might be able to eke out a few wins this season now that she's got the hang of things, and I put her up as the main danger. The fact that she's lightly raced and low mileage, but number 1 Beneath the Clouds, my idea of the winner.
Race 10, Hollywood Bets Bright Future D Stakes over the 1,000 metres, a fast way to end the day. And it's not just fast because it's 1,000 metres, it's fast because there's a lot of horses who enjoy going up there on the pace. So they'll be rattling home on the dog-legged Hollywood Bets Durbanville. And Alistair, what does the betting suggest?
This is not a nice race for what it's worth. Number 6 Lyrical Gangster, who's easily the most interesting horse in the race, because I think this one holds the key as a 33-10 favourite. 7 Miller Strength 4-1, 11 Country Time 5-1, same price number 10 Fort Red. 5 Royal Rhythm is 6-1, 8 Gravity 7-1, and number 1 Champagne Mac 10-1. Don't forget your Hollywood Bet sponsors challenges, by the way. You need to be on by 11:30, so earlier than normal on Saturday.
Indeed, always something to get involved in. The interesting runner for me, Alistair, is that I know you've mentioned a whole bunch of them. Richard Faree aboard Fort Red, number 10.
Fort Red's older than Richard. Older than the trainer as well, Mark Stewart. Not without a chance at all. In fact, Richard's record on this horse, even though he hasn't ridden over a year, is 11 rides, 3 wins and 6 places. So that's an 80% top 4 strike rate. So I think that tells you exactly where Fort Red fits in. If not winning, he's likely to go close, and that's just the profile of the horse. He is quick. He's back to 1,000 metres, a trip surprisingly he hasn't won over. Wouldn't shortchange him in this race. He's definitely alive. But easily the most interesting horse in the race, with a lot of weight, but the 4 kilo claim's going to help, is number 6 Lyrical Gangster. I don't know if he beat Sicily coming back from a long layoff. So fair training feat to Lucinda Woodruff for getting Sicily into the number 2 box last time out. But you still got to wonder, beating a horse that's been off for 500 days, whether that's going to follow up.
And to be fair, 2 more strides, the result would have been the other way around.
Yeah, quite right. So he was running on empty, was number 6 Lyrical Gangster, but could they have possibly found a more winnable race straight out the maidens and just to build that confidence? I've always thought that there's a racehorse there with Lyrical Gangster, but kind of just got a bit wayward in a soft at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth. Maybe now he'll come into his own, whatever his own might be, and to what level he gets to, I don't know. But if he doesn't win here, they might be in a bit of trouble with number 6 Lyrical Gangster. So I'm going to motivate him as the horse to beat and the most interesting horse in the race. The horse that keeps me interested, as he always does, is number 7 Miller Strength. Got Louis Otto on board. That strong handling is going to help out a lot. Who knows what he's going to do over 1,000 metres, number 7 Miller Strength. I mean, he's been in run 2-4 here at Hollywood Bets Durbanville not so long ago. And, over 1,000 metres, it's going to be duck or no dinner. Number 7 Miller Strength. So I've taken a bit of a chance. Quartet's always the way to go in the last race. I've double floated 6 and 7. If I'm having a good day, would I invest the bundle? No. And if I'm having a bad day, would this be the get out stakes as far as a bet is concerned? No. But I can't resist the temptation of taking a quartet in the last race, just because there's generally a lot of interest around the bet.
I do have to ask you, number 11 Country Time. She's won twice here. She's got Brevin Plyke's aboard, who won on her last time, beating a nice Sorton du Maurier. Do you give her any time in the last?
Absolutely. There's nothing that you can write off in the last. That's the tragedy of the race. If you go to the run on the 16th of April, although a while ago finished in front of Champagne Mac Gravity over the Atlantic and Mrs. Shackleton, although they're horses that I'd probably put in the B category in this race, still got the number of nearly half the field on that particular run. There's every reason to give her a vote of confidence, especially with Brevin on board. And as you mentioned, turned over a very nice filly in the form of De Morio last time. So she's banging the race. That's why the double float 6 and 7 by the field is the way to go. Nice to have the first Binder horse in Cape Town for the season. The former number 12, Life goes on. Let's see how he goes around the sharp turns of Hollywood Bet Sturmoville from that draw under Seanville.
Correct, and that takes us through the 10 races on the card, and looking forward to a brilliant day. Alistair, it is really going to be a good one. You can catch us on Gallop TV as well as on SABC. It's going to be good, and then obviously the rugby will be on broadcast on track after the last.
Yep, straight after the last. Hopefully there are no delays. SABC will be out of here, and we'll be tuned into the rugby. Hopefully the box can do us a good turn and hit the front, hopefully at the front of the earlier result goes our way down in Durban against Argentina, who are no pushovers. Very, very good team, Argentina. So it's been a very good rugby championship. It should be a good game in Durban.
It has. Thank you very much, Alistair.
Thank you very much, Vicky. See you on Saturday.
Yes, and see you all on Saturday. Looking forward to it.